Frogs, nigga.
All my wrists is frogs. But you know, like speaking on this information though, I know it's definitely a sensitive situation because you know a lot of real people are connected to their families. Like just like I said, going to the Minister Farrakhan's speech, I was like, this is amazing. Like I couldn't believe so many black people. Everybody is so nice and humble and polite. I thought it was a. I'm not saying like he's a bad person or the movement is such a bad thing where but at the same time, we just don't want it to be where it's like the root of it being something bad, and then it's like even with the speaking of like Farad Muhammad in a sense, and him bringing in the message, and the fact that it was a white dude who actually gave him the what I'm saying situation. So it's like not saying, all white people going to just do a thing, but if for this dude to be the one to create this whole movement, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I got to question that. You know what I'm saying? I got to question who this guy is, where did he come from, what's his
Right.
background, you know what I'm saying? And why is this necessary, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like religion sometimes just keeps you on that aspect where you don't search the history of what the thing actually is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like religion too doesn't help with dating. It's like really backwards with dating. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like some of these characters live in that time, but God created the world in 6,000 years, and
Right.
you know what
Now,
I'm saying?
okay. Again, now religion itself, I accept all of that. I still want to keep it kind of a little close because the organization of indictment right now is the Nation of Islam.
Islam, yeah.
Now look at that organization again. Back at the time when it was that belief system was gaining in popularity, they had businesses, they had farmland, they had their own universities. Their young people were not getting the degrading stories in school about our children being portrayed as monkeys and other different things. So they were learning from the very earliest years, from nursery straight on up to college level classes. This is all being taught by us. So there was accomplishments under this belief system that can't be discounted. Again, I'm not defending the belief system, but if you look at the fruits that it produced during that time, there it was a movement that impacted in a positive way a multitude of lives and a multitude of families. So away from the leadership, I'm not. And if you're trying to indict a leadership, if that is what their goal is, that's between you, that evidence, your presentation of it, whether people weigh it and see validity or whether people see a slant. But the next thing is how about the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands? And not even to talk about the icons who stated there, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X was of that belief system. The father, Clarence 32X, was
Mm-hmm.
of the earth and the gods. I mean, the
That's true.
roots go out in many different ways. So if that root was bad, then anything that branched off from it, are you prepared to cut all of those branches? So it's just that's all I'm saying. The
Okay.
people whose lives were saved in many instances, and to this day is the rudder that they hold on to. Like, we are losing them. We lost Malcolm, one of Malcolm X's secretaries 2 years ago at 93. So I mean, a lot of these elders are up in years, but the people who walked with Malcolm have a few here in Harlem. So it's really close to home. So that's all. I want us to just keep all of those things in mind as we consider what's being presented before us.
Nah, I mean that's why I like to speak to you, brother Smalls, because I know you definitely come from a time where you got to see a lot of this or feel some of the energy in real time. And
Mhm.
just I'm sure when you heard certain things or your first time understanding the concept of certain things, it definitely impacted you. So that's why I like to have just the conversation from just my generation in the sense of how we've been conditioned to see things in this whole matrix that we live in. And
Exactly.
now just to speak on one last thing, Brother Smalls. One of the things that I wanted to speak to the people about is that we're definitely going to be having a lot more live shows, more conversations about some of the things that's happening in more real time fashion, and just having. And I want to say I appreciate you rocking with us on the Skype and creating this this new way of us communicating and getting on, so we can give the people better information in more real time, and hopefully we can get more guests and different people so we can have bigger and better conversations and everything
Right.
like that.
And also, if you probably had this already, and this is coming to mind, if we can set something up where we can get viewer feedback, if they can let us know what's on their heart, what's on their mind, what's on their spirit, that topic they want us to tackle, or a brother or sister living in a certain part of the country or a certain part of the world. You might have a perspective in South Africa, in Ghana, in Senegal, wherever you are. YouTube is all over. Reach out and give us the news. How are our brothers and sisters doing around the globe? We are a Pan Africanist consciousness.
Yeah.
Yes, we're local, but we're global. So any brother or sister in the sound of these words, know that we want to hear from you. Just reach out. Because once we start reflecting the voices and the view of the world, again, we're going to just be able to pull towards that unity and move forward as a singular force again.
Yeah, and we gotta understand too. Things are always happening. Just because we stop hearing about it doesn't mean it's not going on. Like Libya, and our brothers that are still in chains, being
Mm-hmm.
beaten, being killed, tortured, and sold
Mm-hmm.
present day right now. So that's just still something that's actively happening.
Mm-hmm.
So people wonder how slavery happened. It's still, and I'm talking about chattel slavery. You know what I mean? Like how it's happening now. So it's that's
Yeah.
how it happened back then. So
Fortunate. Yeah,
so
and I'm just noticing your hip hop is real shirt, which is the slick. I have to have mine on next time. Now I just pulled this one out of the line.
got
That this brother's grind is real. Pan African Designs.
mm.
So instead, because I think I had seen one of these, or Pharaoh has one of these. I
Yeah,
think,
I got one of those too.
yeah, Doggy Diamonds. I know Sarnetta. This
Salute to the
brother,
brother.
this brother's grind is no joke. If you up here doing any kind of work, he gonna get a package to you. Man, Pharaoh is breathing fire, man. He is breathing fire, man.
Yeah.
But the language, that beat, yo, beat, and he's calling Elijah Muhammad like a, oh goodness, man. Oh, yo, man, there are still people now. They don't have, I don't, because the belief in Elijah Muhammad during the '60s, it was he was their messenger. It was a
Yeah.
divine commitment. You had hundreds of brothers that would have killed you on sight if you would have doing some. But so these brothers, they're still brothers who feel very passionately, and you going to disrespect a father figure of theirs. That's like somebody, getting on and say, your mama a hoe and she well. I mean, it's just oof.
Yeah, nah, the brothers, they definitely went in. You know, they they ain't had no filter, man. They was just going feeling, what I mean?
I mean, is this okay? Knowledge of God, is this the way it should be?
Is it okay? I can't judge if it's okay because you gotta understand. Let me tell you, brother Smalls, you gotta understand. You don't know what winds brew that in. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if who spoke that. Like we said, Malcolm X, he still that hasn't had justice. What is justice for him? Being shot like that at the podium. You know what I'm saying? So who's to say that that energy towards that is wrong? I don't know. That's why we're speaking about it now. That's why we're even contemplating because somewhere we know something happened even though we don't know the whole inside truth, but there's enough evidence out here for the world to even look at. Like, it shouldn't even be where, you know what I'm saying? Even if y'all had beef like that, like, to
Right,
the
right,
point where even in the movie it depicts Muslim brothers killing you. Period. That's
right.
what it showed. Period. The movie, along with FBI, like, that's what the movie showed.
Right. But even his theory on that is they had blanks in their gun that the CIA used snipers from up on the roof.
It doesn't even matter if they have blinks. For the fact
Yeah,
that y'all even doing all that, if they had
yeah,
real bullets in there, y'all would have been putting that work in anyway. Does
Right,
it
right.
matter? Like it's like you was there too, but you conspired. You was all
Yeah,
in it. Like you ain't
yeah.
getting out of that. Like
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You wanted this job done. You know what I'm saying? You just got with some professionals who got it done better. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like I'm just so it's like I'm not saying that I don't know. I don't know Farrakhan. I've never sat in a room with him to be like like from when I've seen him speak, I just thought he was definitely a powerful individual. You know what I'm saying? But
We were speaking earlier. I had a chance to ask him a few questions. Now, I've never met Farrakhan, but here in New York, I don't know if you know the very popular radio program called Open Line
no,
comes on.
I'm not familiar with it. I
Oh
might check it
man,
out.
excellent program. It goes on from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. 107.5 FM.
Okay.
Now they had Farrakhan as a guest, and it's a calling show. So I had an opportunity to call in and ask him a few questions about Scientology. So it was real interesting. Now he said, I asked him whether that the founder of that is a white man. It did not Elijah Muhammad say the white man was the devil. And are you stepping away from his doctrine in your allegiance or you're forming an allegiance with Scientology? He said no. He said Elijah Muhammad told them to study the white man. He said there are things we could learn from how the white man does things. And he said, I'm just living through from that. And so he kind of went on. So that was my closest to asking the source and not just be, just talking about. I asked him it, and that was the answer he gave.
What you thought about the answer?
I mean, hey, I mean, you do study your enemy. I mean, if I got a contract to fight Mike Tyson, you don't think I'm gonna be going over his fights, seeing which punch he's the most effective with, or if he does have a move that like, whoa, I might have to borrow some of that. Well, I can see studying him, but I don't know if you got to join forces with him to study him, or I don't know, you have to form an organization or a duel, or I don't know. So that part of it, I would need a little more clarity. Now you even have to negotiate with your enemy at times. So I mean, you can't act like your enemy or your opponent doesn't exist, but every interaction or involvement with them is not appropriate or is not best in your best interest. That's still your enemy. That's still someone you have to conduct yourself a very specific way around.
Mm. No, I mean, you like you said, you had some firsthand experiences, so that's kind of dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and it's so interesting. I'm thinking back as you get older, you see, especially when you're looking at footage and stuff. Some of the stuff's like, yo, I was there, or I didn't go to that meeting because I had to go somewhere else. And now people are looking at it. It is 20 years ago. It is 25. It's interesting how the time goes by, and you're seeing images that people are seeing for the first time, and it has a historical significance to them. And you just remember that's a little part of history that you walk through.
Mm.
Yeah.
When you look at some of these things, though, when you look back at it now, does your mind change on how you look at things? Does it evolve, or does it do you see it in a different way? You know what I'm saying? Do you still feel the same way? You know what I'm saying? Like when it just comes to just what's happening now, like some of the conversation we had now, like. Do you look into it more, like, or when you were younger, did you have a whole different perspective on it?
Yeah, I mean, getting older, getting wiser, and see going through life with people. It's an interesting thing. Oh man, something else. It's just a side note, but it kind of deals with that whole going through time with people. There's this thing on the Advice Show. They're doing this another expose on our brother Quintel X,
Mm-hmm.
and he was on a talk show, and now they're saying allegedly he's been kind of defrauding people, taking monies, and not providing either legal advice or not providing exposure. So now that was one of the brothers that at a time was available to do personal security with Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. He was one of the brothers that I seen run in that circle while I was doing security, even for one of the Million Youth Marches he was on hand. So, and to see what he's being accused of now, or what the allegations are around him, it's so you know there are people that are in the movement And again, I think he's innocent until proven guilty. From what I hear, there's still allegations, but voices and numbers are starting to rise related to people complaining and bringing forth their paperwork alleging a level of defrauding of their funds. So, I had an old saying that I just got. It made sense to me. I don't count anyone totally out, and unfortunately, you can't count anyone totally in. I think we are on our post until we close our eyes. Up until that moment, before then, you have to be on your square, because if not, you could be compromised. There are things working against you constantly. I don't know what's going on in Zimbabwe right now. We have Robert Mugabe holding it down, getting the land. Now there's a coup. I haven't had any reliable information about that. Again, the Reverend Al Sharpton, there's been clouds of suspicion around him from time to time. Even there are things he stated that he participated in related to assisting various agencies in ways that people label, as being an informant, as being a rat. So at what point is a behavior something that would disqualify you as a leader or render you either incompetent as a leader or just corrupt? What is the measuring stick? Is there a perfect leader? If there is, can somebody send me their name, male or female, what part of the country? Because even it's an interesting thing in the Black Panther. There's a line that is almost haunting. It's you are a good man, but it's very difficult for a good man to be king. Because to be king is like to be Prince, Machiavelli. And Machiavelli, boy, you chop heads off when it's to your advantage. And that takes a certain kind of a person that at times, a lot of folks can't drop that hammer. So the point is, it comes full circle, and there's good and bad in all individuals and organizations. At the end of the day, I guess you have to decide: do they do more good than bad? And that has to be a pretty low standard, I guess. But what else can you measure an individual or an organization by? They have to do more good than bad. I mean, is it possible for them to do no bad? If that's not possible, you got to make sure the good far outweighs the bad.
Whoa.